are Initiative Zero. I'm Magnum Pi. This is the Second City Chronicle, Session 0, Part 2, where we take a look at Chronicle building. Again, if Session 0 is, well, if you're on Part 2, I figured you thought Part 1 was pretty good, and you decided to check out Part 2. But if you're kind of bored of it and you don't want to watch us continue building this, then please jump to our first episode, our first chapter in this particular chronicle. But if you are, this is the second half of Session 0 in Chronicles of Darkness. The first half is building your character, but the second half is building the chronicle, and that's kind of what we do. So, with me, as always, is Dark Templar, Holle, Teku, and Golgotha, and we're going to do some more building of this chronicle so that we can get to playing. So, can you guys give us a real quick summary of your characters that you built last time? We'll start with DT.
All right, so I am playing Elliot Payne. He's a 16-year-old street urchin who had a pretty rough, he had a pretty rough life early on, but it kind of got a little bit messed up when his mother unfortunately passed away, and kind of fell into the wrong foster care, and kind of is on his own, kind of just living life as a street urchin.
Okay, cool. And Vahilo.
Vincenzo Rossi, or you may call him Vinny or Vince. He's a small-town mobster, owns a garbage collection company. Kind of worked his way up through the mob, but also had his dad as a contact, and basically took over the family business.
Okay, cool. And Teku.
Christopher Sloan is a up-and-coming author with delusions of grandeur. He works at the local university. He's on the younger side of things and inexperienced, but he's eager to get out there.
All right. Nothing like eagerness in the world of darkness.
Yeah, that'll go well.
It's
that'll
good for
go
crushing
real well.
spirits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Golgi, what do you got?
Well, I am Grayson Bridger, a university professor, University of Chicago professor of religion and history. He has had a pretty decent life, age 34, lives in a middle class part of town, but he does have some interesting things that have occurred in his past, some of which don't reflect very well on him in terms of his integrity.
Cool. All right. So what I'm going to orient you guys to here first is just the things that I've added to your characters. So I will, again, start by looking at DT's character to show everybody else, but you guys can open up your own character sheets. And you do need, if you haven't filled in an age, you do need to fill in an age. You'll notice that I put your factions and group names and things like that in. If you jump to page 3, you will see that that we have filled in some info on your stuff. For Elliot, I don't know what he would have on him, and I don't know necessarily where he would be living, but probably I'm assuming shelters and street corners. But you'll see that I've essentially taken the ability, or the opportunity rather, to give you a sum up of what your merits provide to you, so that we don't have to go jumping into the rule book all the time. You can just look at the things that are relevant to your character there. And I recommend that for if you guys are using Roll20, super easy to copy paste. Make use of these little bits on page 3 here. You can always just add more boxes, and it just makes for a really nice, clean, quick reference. But one thing, page 2, what I'll build out at the end of this particular one are just some common roles, like imagine perception, the dreaded wits plus alertness, right? Or wits plus composure. Sorry, in this game, wits plus composure. So, just to make there's some quick rolls there that you don't have to constantly click things and everything. You can just jump to page 2, click the quick roll, and you're good. So I'll build those in for you as well. One thing that we do need to get to just as quickly as for Vinny, for your fate, as I was kind of going back over it, we have to choose something other on page 3. We have to choose something other than killed. You can't. It has to be more, less random. It has to be kind of more purposed. So murdered is okay, but killed is not. Executed.
Well, I think
is okay.
last time when we were going through it, I was kind of imagining kind of like a, killed in a firefight with police is kind of where I
Right,
think
but you can't say how or by whom, right? That's the thing. You can just say
right.
what happens. So, like executed works, right? If that's kind of the, you can't really preordain how you die, but you can say the kind of death. But, so it could be, maybe there's a cop that's just had enough of you, bad cop sort of thing. Or maybe it's a mob hit, or maybe whatever it happens to be. But yeah, executed will work. Likewise, murdered will work
right.
too. You don't have to. It depends the kind of untimely death that you want. But anyway, cool. So think about page 3. Take a look at what's there. Elliot's going to have to put a few things in for just this type of stuff that he would have with him. But I think everybody else has some stuff. Let me just take a quick look here, make sure I... Oh no, I still have to flesh out. But if you guys take some time kind of maybe just after this session just to drop in some of the stuff that your character would carry on them and stuff that they would own, the kind of vehicle they have if they have a vehicle, and where they're living. Just the kind of place, like an apartment or a condo or whatever, right? That sort of thing. All right. But we're going to work on not characters right now. We're going to jump over to the Chronicle building sheet here. And I am going to reduce the size of your icons here, just so we can see more of this. Hello, icons. There we go. Just going to reduce it down to small for now. And that way we can see more of the screen here. So, what you guys see is another person of significance in this story. That is Albert Quay. And Albert is, I'll tell you just what we're doing here, and that is we're talking about a missing person. And Albert's missing. And this particular stage of Chronicle building is we talk about Albert, who he is, the circumstances surrounding his disappearance. Is he young or old, rich or poor, things like that. Does it make sense that he's gone? Or is he the sort that would regularly kind of disappear? Right? Can anybody account for any of it? Any of your characters account for why he's gone? Or is that everybody woke up one day and he's just not there? Is there some sort of stack of clues or witnesses? Or is Albert Quay only barely noticed, as a statistic, just yet another missing person, gone in his community? So that's the stuff that we're talking about. Now, typically, in a Chronicles of Darkness game, when you don't already have a pre-built setting and a pre-built world to immerse your characters in, this stage of Session 0 is to flesh that out, to build the world, just to build the part of the world that's relevant to the player characters. And so typically you start off just by showing a picture and dropping a name, and background and stuff is invented by the players. But because we're dealing with a pre-built world, one that's already kind of entrenched, I've already tied the missing person to that world. And so the first step of this particular process is not one where we brainstorm, but we'll do enough of that in the other steps. It's to get to know Albert Quay. And Albert Quay is part of the prominent Quay family of Chicago's South Chinatown. Chicago has two Chinatowns, one in the south and one in the north. The southern one is more Chinese. The northern one is more Asian, kind of generic Asian. The Quay family owns the Chinatown Bazaar, and they are members of the Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association. He volunteers at the Puitak Center, which is a community center that's just across the street from the Chinatown Bazaar, which is kind of a knick-knacky kind of souvenir place. And it helps, but it also carries things that like are authentically Chinese, things that people may want. But he volunteers at this Puitak Center, which is across the street in the old On Leong Tong building that's there. And yeah, he helps immigrants adjust to life in America. People that need things translated for them, stuff like that. And he's gone missing. So, this is what we need to address. So, I put his name, his statement about him, right? Who he is. And, yeah, tell me about Albert. This is where you guys can come in. I'm going to just kind of record some things that you say, just pulling out relevant statements. But again, tell me a little bit about Albert Quay. Who is he? What's his, what are the details of the disappearance, right? Try to leave things a bit open-ended, but yeah, let's just have a discussion here.
Well, I first of all, he's a prominent family in Chinatown. I'd say that he's at least on the not necessarily wealthy, but very upper middle class. Family, very well known in the community.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say wealthy.
Yeah, I was going to say affluent at least,
Yeah.
That could work.
especially
Yeah.
given the role that he plays within the community.
And look at that collar.
He'd be well known.
That's true. He is a well dressed man.
Yeah. I'm going with upper class.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. What's he like?
Now, given all that,
Yeah.
do you guys think that he would be an eligible bachelor, or do you think that he would have found his love of his life and gotten married and settled down?
No, he's the guy that he doesn't want to be tied down yet.
I think he's engaged actually with a side piece.
Oh.
Oh, nice. I mean,
I figure wealthy, involved with his community, volunteers, does all of that. He'd probably have a lot of people after him.
That's why I need that side piece. It's like not in town. It's like not in Chinatown or the other Chinatown. It's like somewhere else.
Or is the person that he's supposed to marry somewhere else? Like, is she a Chinese import?
Yeah, possibly.
Or could that be the reason that he volunteers so much at the Puitak Center?
The side piece is there.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe the side piece volunteers as well.
Okay.
Oh.
That's that. I like that.
Maybe she's a little too possessive because she realizes he's
Okay.
pulling away.
So the thing we don't want to do right now is solve all the problems, right? We can just
Damn it.
leave it open-ended stuff. So well-off, upper middle class, well-known, affluent, engaged, but plays the field. Okay, we don't have to say why he's engaged or stuff like that, but we're going to actually get to things that other people say about him eventually. So
I'd fuck him.
yeah.
I'd say he's not just well known there. He's got a presence outside the community too. So he goes he's well known at like the dinner party scene essentially.
Okay, so socialite.
Yeah.
But a socialite, like, well, we don't have to flesh that out. We'll leave it open. He might not just be a Chinese socialite. He might be, in greater Chicago.
I'd say like bridging communities, right?
Okay, that's cool.
With his expert DJing skills.
Oh Jesus! Really? No, God! Oh
Why
my
do you-
God!
why
That's
you
right.
shut me down?
On the
Why you
ear that's
shut me
not
down?
showing. On the ear that's not showing in the picture, he actually has one of the headphone ears. He's holding it.
He's got one of the DJ cans.
That's
Yeah.
right.
He has an Apple computer he has an Apple laptop right in front of him. You don't even know. You don't even know. Screw you people. Music brings us together.
All right. So, tell me about the disappearance.
Let's go for high-low. I think you have something there.
Well, I was thinking maybe late one night after using that volunteering. Late one night after volunteering.
Okay. So
He's leaving the Puitak Center in Chinatown. Maybe, walking home and.
This guy's not walking.
No.
Well, maybe not walking,
It's
but
inner-
the
it's inner
last
city
place that
Chicago.
people saw him alive was leaving the Puitak.
it's
There you
inner
go.
city
Got that
Chicago,
one.
right? So
and he and his, I'm going to say, Audi are missing.
But there's a single thing that was found of his, like something that was found.
Like a single ear.
No.
The other one you can't see it back.
Hi. All his facial hair.
Yeah.
Both his eyebrows, yes.
No.
The other facial hair.
Like I don't know, like a ring or something, or like a necklace, like a pendant or something.
Okay.
What about like maybe a gym bag of all the stuff that, like, if you're just playing basketball or something like that, maybe a gym bag.
Maybe.
Okay,
Files?
so
I don't know.
So
I like
let's
cufflinks,
just
bag?
hold on, back up for a sec. So let's tie some of these things to people. So these are just generic statements, right? Like disappeared after volunteering. But let's make that, how did police know this, or how did his family know this? Who knows? Somebody saw him disappear after volunteering, right? Who is that person?
Oh, you're thinking somebody saw him get taken into a van?
Not necessarily abducted,
No,
but I'm just saying, like
the
there
last
was.
person who saw him, maybe.
That's right. Who's this last person that saw him that says, this is where I saw him last? Who is that person?
Maybe
Someone-
Definitely the side piece.
No. Well, we can build to that
disagree.
potentially, but
secretary, maybe, or the
front receptionist of the
receptionist, yeah,
community center. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. I disagree with all of you. I think it's the old lady that works at the fish market across the street from the Puitok Center, who's just, chopping some heads, and then happened to see him kind of come out of the Puitok Center, stage left, and didn't really think anything of it. That's the last time he saw him.
Did she give him a nod?
No, don't do that.
No. Why not?
That's how-
Okay, we're not narrating what happened, right?
Okay.
Seriously, you're trying to figure this out right now.
Yeah, we're just saying. All right, so I just put a community member said that, right? We can say whether it's a merchant or whether it's a part of the Puitok or whatever. But for now, right? There was a witness that just says that's the last time they saw him, right? That's where they can. Okay, walking is good because that's what people typically do as they leave buildings. Okay, so anything else about his disappearance?
Does we want him to be like in debt?
Well, I would just say that, like, presumably he's walking to a vehicle to head home. Both he and the vehicle are missing, and given the background we've created for this person, it would be a higher profile vehicle, something a little flashy or something.
Like an Audi?
I like that. But what if,
But it stands out that it's missing
But-
because you don't see it.
or he got into his vehicle, but no one actually left with the vehicle. Like someone ripped him out of the vehicle, and the door was seen ajar.
Well, again, we don't need to get into the details about how
Yeah.
he disappeared.
No, but his car's still there. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, you're trying to say the vehicle's not missing.
Right.
So you're just being oppositional now.
No, I'm trying to just throw out some shit, okay?
So I threw out car is missing, and you're like, counterpoint. No,
Car
it
is not missing.
isn't. It's right where we left it.
Exactly.
Sounds
Or
like a
the door
Seinfeld
ajar.
episode.
Yeah. No. Better idea. The car's there, but the door isn't ajar.
Or
Yeah,
the
that
car's
feels- is that
missing, but he's there, and he's ajar.
And he's
Or the-
ajar.
The
Oh my
car's
God.
missing.
Jar.
The car's missing, and the door's there.
He's been replaced by a jar.
I was going to say, what if he's just
That's
missing a jar?
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so we're undecided about the vehicle. That's okay.
I do like the door missing part, though. That's pretty cool. Like, if he was missing and the car door was missing, that'd be pretty crazy.
You guys had mentioned that something of his, though, was found, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it should be something personal, not just like a gym bag. Something like more personal.
Like a jade Buddha.
Well, that's a little on the nose.
Who
No,
found
like
it?
a necklace, man.
Yeah, okay, yeah, like that, yeah.
But who found it?
Maybe a street urchin.
Or someone who was works at the thing, the Puitok Center, who was parking and just happened to be walking.
Somebody
employee.
locked up and they were going back to their car. Or one of the kids that he was volunteering with.
Okay.
His heroes.
So how does everybody know?
prize
How does everybody know
necklace is
this?
missing.
How does everybody know this? So, so community member turned in. something that belonged to him, to the police. Some personal items, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
How far is the Pui Talk Center from the university?
Like a half-hour train ride. The Pui Talk Center is right near the L, which is the elevated train in Chicago. So they're well, it's not really a subway when it's on the upper part, but downtown it is underground. But it's their train, their city train. All right. Anything else about the disappearance? It doesn't have to be. I'm just asking.
Right.
I mean, it almost seems like we're making this harder for ourselves by not leaving an obvious clue.
No. That's not how things work here. Don't worry. Don't do that.
Could this be one of a number of disappearances, or do we just want to leave it this?
Who would say that there's a number of disappearances? Police, news.
The people in the neighborhood, like most of them are not people who are really well known, famous. They wouldn't necessarily make the news. Some of them might even be might not even be any necessarily connection. Like, for example, they might not be, or they might be homeless people or others that wouldn't have a direct connection, but might have a direct connection.
Okay. So let's jump back to socialite, affluent, engaged, but plays the field. Let's tie this to some people. Socialite, is he, what would people say that would make you think that he's a socialite?
Highly educated. He's involved in charitable work. He attends.
Like literally, what would they say?
Oh,
don't give me description.
Philanthropist.
Okay.
No, but like something that nobody just walks down the street and says philanthropist. Like, what would they say? Like words that would come out of their mouth.
People don't say that.
Rarely do people just say philanthropist.
It's a really hard word, though.
Exactly. That's why it's rarely said.
Yeah. Yes.
Fair enough.
So something along the lines of,
Can you make a good
the
husband?
ladies think he's a riot, right? That sort of thing, or he's really popular, right?
Yeah, he's a social butterfly.
Excellent conversationalist.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nice, great eyebrows.
He does have great eyebrows. He's a good-looking guy, this guy.
He's a really good-looking dude.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous.
Like,
I'm genuinely jealous.
he works out, huh? He works out. Can we say that?
Yeah. He works out.
Eats right. Takes care of his mom and dad.
Family, yeah. Loyal to his family.
Yeah. Well, I'd say his mother and father, or like those fathers, is also kind of high up, and like he's like they're business.
Yeah, there is a tie here. So the Quay family is a big name in Chinatown, and all the way, like the matriarch of the family is like 100 and something. Like she's still kicking.
Well, I thought you said they were a big name in Lower Chinatown, not Upper Chinatown. Well, I guess both. You said
in Chinatown, like South Chinatown. Yeah.
Yeah.
The south side,
but the northern part of South Chinatown. So he's like, yeah.
Well, it's located in the northwestern corner of the South Chinatown district, but in Chinatown, his family is quite well known. Like the matriarch is in her, like over 100 years old, and the business has been going forever. It's quite infamous too. It was tied to what happened to the Anlong Tong, the Tong that was basically across the street back in the day before the FBI closed it down. So yeah, but if he's loyal to his family, that's the family that he's loyal to, right? Like that's, they're quite a prominent thing, and yeah, the whole family works in the business, right? Importing from China stuff for their market, basically. Okay, that's some better description that we had there. Loyal to his family, he's in good shape.
very well spoken, went to a good university.
Yeah, excellent conversationalist. Yeah, affluent, right?
When you say this is somebody who gives back to his community,
Well, yeah. I mean, he volunteers right at the Puitok Center, the community center, to help people who are coming to the U.S. So he certainly gives back. Yeah,
Can we say some negative shit too?
yeah, of course.
Like he's hot tempered, like quick tempered.
Okay, cool. So he's got a short fuse.
Yeah, that's good.
What else?
He is somebody who holds a grudge.
Okay,
He will never like will forgive but never forget kind of thing.
Yeah.
never
Like
forgets
that.
a slight.
Yep.
Yeah.
What does that say about his
He's-
honor? Is he honorable though? Like, is it like an affront to his family's honor sort of thing, or is it just he's an asshole?
Hmm.
I mean, one is easier than the other.
Well, I think it's more personal, but like it's a personal honor, maybe.
Yeah, it's not centered around his family. It's centered around himself.
Just like a prideful thing.
Yeah.
All right.
See, I was going to say he's manipulative.
How about he gets what he wants? Oh, sorry, that's exactly.
Oh,
what
I like that.
My
I like
bad.
that. That's what he
My bad.
wants.
No, that's basically what Tagu
Yeah.
just said.
Yeah.
He's known to get what he wants.
I think manipulative means you would have to work for it. I think if you just say he gets what he wants, and maybe it's just people give things to him.
Well, that
Like
could
it could
be.
be
It's good to leave it open ended though, because we don't want
Yeah.
to tie
Yeah.
hands, right? We want to let the story
Yeah, I
determine
like it.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
He's
good.
kind of
I like it.
Okay.
intimidating as well.
Cool. So I'm gonna. Yeah, I think I kind of got that from the fact that he's got a short fuse. He never forgets a slight.
Mhm.
So I would say intimidation probably fits in there. Yeah, I'm gonna actually shrink these down for now, because they'll become apparent later. I'll just enlarge them later. I just don't want to take up all the space here. Okay, cool. So that gives us a pretty good idea of who Albert Quay is, right? I think you guys kind of have an image now, if I'm not mistaken. Cool. The next thing.
Does he have like a nickname? Just curious. Like a little dragon or something like that.
Oh, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, we can throw that in. So here's the next thing, right? It is, we kind of answered some of this already because I didn't see the need to interrupt you as the stream of consciousness was going. But the next thing we have to do is talk about the crime scene itself. We already talked about where he's missing from, right? But we have to get a little bit more detailed than that because now we have to bring your characters into this. Okay, so you guys know Albert Quay to some degree or another. Where did you see him last and when? What spaces did you share with him? Did you and he go to the same coffee shop every Sunday for some reason? And only now that he's missing do you even notice how frequently you actually saw him. Did you see him last in your apartment as he told you the business deal was off and you could go to hell, right? Like, where are the places where you've interacted with Albert Quay? Because he lived in the same reality as your characters, whether your town, your block, or your school. He lived within Chicago just like you do, and that means you all occupied real shared spaces.
Right.
So
I see my guy. We cross paths at like various dinner parties, for example. Maybe.
Cool. I'm going to tell you what I need to do. There is a particular thing you have to do, though. So here we go.
Okay.
So each player has to put down a single location that will matter to the story, not just to you, but it does involve you. Okay, but it's gotta be relevant to. It's going to have to be relevant to this story, even though you don't know what the story is. We have to make sure that it's not someplace like, oh yeah, I saw him in Venezuela when I was on vacation. Like, that's useless to us, right? We got to anchor it to the story. So start out with the idea that these locations that you guys are going to put down are all tied to the missing person, but that they all must also each somehow tie to the player characters. Okay? So that's what I need you to do. So you guys should have, on the left-hand side, a small menu. One of those things should have like the letter I, like a lowercase I, that will give you, or something like that, or a square or something like that. It should be beneath the arrow that will create a text box that you can type in.
I don't see that. Am I looking?
It's,
left-
it's on the one that's like when you're on the arrow. It's on the one that's the paintbrush
Okay.
or the
Oh.
shape, the square, the
Oh, yeah,
circle,
yeah,
the
I got
second
that.
block.
Yeah, if you click
And
on
it
that, it'll
goes
give you some
down
good
to the bottom.
options.
So we want the arrow. Sorry, which one do we want?
The text box.
You want the text box. It looks like a letter I. It'll say text as you.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, there you
And if I can, just to make things easier, Vahilo or DT, one of the two of you, can you pick a different color that will show up nicely in contrast with the gray background, but is not the same as the other person's color?
Yeah, I will pick a different color.
Cool. All right, and same, Golgi, yours is gray, so if I can get you to pick a different color that isn't gray, that's more like maybe a green or something like that, just so down by your name at the bottom of the screen.
go. Yeah, got that. Oops.
I'm going to have to apologize here. I didn't hear a single thing he said.
Oh, I just asked what either you or Vahilo.
Before that, where I do all this writing?
You're gonna pick a text. You're gonna create a text box. So
A text box. Okay.
the menu on the left, right upper left
Yep.
of the screen. You know how to
Yep.
do that. Golgi, how you doing with that color change?
I can't. I don't know how to change it. I
So-
changed it before. I don't know
So
why.
down on your icon at the very bottom of the screen where it says Golgotha.
Yeah.
If you click the little gray box to the right of Golgotha,
Oh, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Never
Yeah.
mind. Yeah, there we go.
and just pick something like green or something like that. There you go.
There you go.
Cool. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna Well, you guys pick a spot, top, bottom, left, or right. Just don't pick the same spot as somebody else, and create a text box. And what you need to do is name and kind of name a place. Where did you last see Albert Quay? Or it doesn't have to be where you last saw him necessarily, but it could. Have you crossed paths? Like it might be the last place you saw him, sure, but where's a place that you both, it ties you to him.
Now, I'm pressing the text box thing, but it's not really giving much to write on.
Yeah, I don't see anything to write on.
I think you have to hold down your mouse. I tried it holding down your mouse,
Yeah, but
like your
after I
left
stop,
click, and then type at the same time.
yeah, but after I stop typing, it goes away.
And
I
then
can't
you
go
hit-
back
then-
into
Yeah,
it.
then once you click off of it,
No, I mean like I
I
click
just
it.
I just
I
put
start
one.
typing. As soon as I click off of it, it's gone. I can't go back into the text box. So I'm trying to get.
to go back into the text box, you need to use the arrow to select the text box.
I just did, but I can't go back in the text box. Is what I'm saying to you.
Click it.
Double click.
Oh, I can do that.
I've clicked. See, I've clicked and I'm typing right now. Right, I'm in red, and so after I let go of the mouse click, it solidifies it, and I can't, and if I go to the
Okay,
arrow, I
now
still can't click.
You got to
anywhere.
change to the arrow. Select that text box.
I'm sorry.
Just tap
Like
it.
on the top left, the pointer cursor,
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
and then double click.
And Vahilo, can you pick a different color? It's coming out as it's coming out as black. So
Yeah, I don't. Oh, so when you click on, okay, because my color down at the bottom is burgundy, but at the top, when you click on
must
text,
be
you have
that
to
you-
choose the color there.
Yeah, I think it'll switch to your actual color if you like click out and then click back in or something like that. But just choose the same color for now.
Yeah, it didn't because it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is new for us.
Yeah, that's all good. Ooh, the Oriental Institute.
Well, it's also my what is it? My touchstone, like the and I've actually got an explanation. I've got an explanation for it as well. If you want to take a look at it.
Cool.
How much detail do you want? Like, do you just want that where you saw him, or what the nature of the interaction was?
The idea is it's right now mostly just a location where you guys have interacted or let you share. Not necessarily, you don't even have had to really interact necessarily. It's just a place that where your paths cross. It could be that you interact there. It could just be that you both happen to ride the subway at 3 p.m. every day, like, and you always sit across from each other. But
Why did it do that?
because
DT, you're going to have to put some enters in there.
yeah,
I tried. I can't put any
to
enters
break
in
up
it.
the line.
As soon as I enter, it clicks me off.
hold down the
Yeah.
shift button when you hit enter.
Nothing. Oh, there we go. What's going on? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I made it so it was legible for me. Just click in there. You're good. How are you doing there, Teku?
No, we're working away. I'm just doing a quick Google search.
Oh,
Seems relevant. I mean, if they had... I mean, my expectation would be that I saw him at whatever speaking engagements he happened to hold at the university, being a philanthropist, as he is.
Hey, dog. Wait, how am I going to get this? I am done. Might want to somehow make
fix it.
that better. Yeah, I think I'm done.
Okay.
So sorry, how do you open a text box? Go to the eye, click text.
I and text, and then you have to left click and type at the same time.
When you left
Oh,
click
God.
it, it'll create a
Yeah.
And then when you
box.
and then
I'm just
when
going to
you
go with
move the
a
click,
darker blue, because this blue is awful to try and read.
Okay.
But I'm done.
Oh, that's better. We're going to go with darker.
All right. I'm just gonna par yours down a little bit there, DT, just to give, just to keep it a bit more open ended, right? So where you see him is basically coming out the back. Okay. So in a back alley.
No, like back parking lot that leads into an alley.
Not many of those kicking around, but
In Chinatown?
yeah.
Like the back of a restaurant that leads into an alley? Definitely.
Not that I've seen in South Chinatown, Chicago, but okay. So I'm gonna get rid of the details about so that back alley is the space. Okay. Which library is the John Greer Library? Do you know?
One of the first ones that came up in a Google search.
Okay. Then I'm going to suggest.
Yeah, modify it as is necessary.
Yeah, a different one, but. That's the biggest one there. And so. Cool. All right. So we got some places. I'm just going to.
Oops, what happened to mine?
I'm just moving things around.
Oh, okay, thank God. I thought it disappeared on me.
No, I'm just kind of trying to locate things around the screen because we've got some more stuff to add here. Cool. All right, so each player puts down a location that will matter to the story. So I've got 2 things at the University of Chicago, Field Museum, okay, and alley behind the Good Fortune. Okay, cool. All right. Implications. This is where your characters come in. How do you know Albert Quay? Was he a good friend and acquaintance, etc., etc.? Was he a dependent? Is this disappearance keenly felt by you, somehow unaware, right, of even how that he actually fit into your relationships before he disappeared? Are you responsible for his disappearance? I hope not. That would make it for a very uninteresting chronicle. But, basically, were you strangers? Just the degree. This is not giving you one thing that you have to choose from, but rather it's just giving examples of things you could be. Basically this chronicle starter reflects on the connections that we see and don't see. So while your characters may not realize their direct ties to the missing person, you, the players, should definitely be aware of them. So you don't necessarily have to have had, your characters don't necessarily have to have had a personal interaction with them, but they did somehow interact with them in the world. So on this map that we're drawing here, this kind of story map, as spokes radiating outward possibly from the locations described in the crime scene, we're going to put each character's name. So I'm going to drag you guys out here. So there's Elliot, and there's Grayson, and I'm actually going to put Grayson down here. And I'm going to put Vinny up here. There we go. Cool. All right. So on the spoke, write a sentence that describes either the direct relationship between the character and the missing person, or the effect that their disappearance has had on the character's life, even if it's on a level only understood by the players and storytellers and not the characters themselves. So I am going to move these descriptors out of the way here for now. And draw some spokes radiating out here. All right. Right, because all right. So here we go. We've got a line coming that is going to be black. Whoop. Not quite. I got those going the wrong way. Sorry. All right, here we go. Ah. All right. So here is where there's those spokes, and you guys are going to provide us with, again, on the spoke or beside the spoke, write a sentence describing either the direct relationship between the character and the missing person, or the effect of their disappearance that it's had on the character's life, even if it's on a level only understood by the players and the characters. And I'll add some spokes for Albert as well.
So you want us to make a spoke?
No, I've drawn the spokes.
Okay.
On the one that connects your character to the location, you need to write, again, create a text box near that spoke in your color that says a sentence describing either the direct relationship between your character and Albert, or the effect that Albert's disappearance has had on your character's life, even if that effect is something that's only understood in a meta sense by the players and storyteller, not the character himself.
Okay.
So kind of the, like for you and Teku, kind of the additional information that you put down in the place before would count as something like that, right?
Like all the stuff you deleted?
Yeah. You're welcome.
Great.
That's what I'm here for. Make life easy for you.
Oh, shoot. How do you get back into that thing? I'm trying to
You just need
type
to you need to choose the arrow icon in the top left,
Okay.
and then click on the text box itself.
Okay, there we go.
So could I do something along the lines of, Vinny would have garbage collection contracts in different areas around Chinatown. So now kind of being investigated for, picking up Albert's body or, having some involvement with, collecting it and cleaning up the scene.
Well, this would be yeah, but does that have to do with the Field Museum? Right. This is. You said that the Field Museum.
Okay. You want it for
Yeah, it's on the spoke that connects you to that place. How the disappearance. Now you can change the place if you think that your connection to him is, or the effect is going to be more anchored to Chinatown. Then you could change the place, but. Like if you are the guy that always empties the dumpster out of, out back behind the Chinatown Bazaar, then.
Is that sufficient?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. A sentence describing your direct relationship or the effect that the disappearance has had on you. And that sounds like the direct relationship.
Is that what you're looking for, or no?
Yeah, that tells me your relationship to him, what you saw. Had you ever seen him before that one time?
No, I've seen him before.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I
just
haven't seen him since.
yeah, but that doesn't like you're not telling me the disappearance, right? You're just telling me your normal relationship to him, or how the disappearance,
Okay.
or how the disappearance has affected you. But that pretty much tells me how the disappearance has affected you. Okay, that's cool. So
Sort of an easier way to do this. I'm doing this with one finger because the other one is busy. Oh, what? Like, is there a way to keep the text box just there? Because right now I'm holding down
you shouldn't have
my
to hold
cursor.
it. Like when I do
If
it,
you if you put the text box there and just throw in a couple random letters,
it'll
and then
stay
if you go
there.
back up to the mouse cursor icon on the left and select or move, you can double click it and start typing with no problem.
Oh, well, that's what I got anyways there.
Okay, so just this stuff about the philanthropy there,
Yeah.
Bahilo.
Yeah.
So I need you to give me something on the spoke there, though, between Vinny and that location about your personal relationship to Albert or how his disappearance has affected you. Like, it doesn't have to do with the location so much as it has to do with you.
Okay. So it's just okay. So
Yeah.
a different text box there. Got it.
That's not quite what I wanted to do.
I hear you. I can fix it, though.
Thank you. Excellent. But that sounds okay?
Sure. Oh, you know what I'm going to say? Just given what both Golgi and Teku have here, is Albert's like a collector of like authentic Chinese artifacts and stuff like that. Like he likes to, so he's interested in talking to people that know stuff about them, like historians and you know he's drawn on if he's talking at a library. It's probably because he's an avid collector and knows stuff about it, not because he has any particular you know expertise or something like that beyond his own personal experiences.
He's probably got a lot of memberships to prestigious art museums.
Mm-hmm. You probably have to
So
pay at
people
least
are coming to Vinny for a handout, basically, because
Yeah, I think it's like, there's, Vinny's, he's wanting to support this new immigrants society because he sees Italian immigrants coming and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
And, Albert would go too because he's wanting to support this group that supports Chinese immigrants. So now that Albert's philanthropy is lost, people are saying, well, we still need to satisfy the bottom line. So they're, as a business owner, they're coming to Vinny for more money.
So this is like this society that you're thinking of is kind of like a general, support for,
Yeah.
for new immigrants.
Like it's kind of outside of what Albert would do with the Pui Talk Center.
Yeah, like Pui Talk is specifically for Chinese, right? But there might be something in Little
Yeah.
Italy that that you support. Yeah.
that
Okay.
Vinny's part of as well.
Yeah, and then together it's mostly just addressing immigration in Chicago. You guys are both
Yeah.
kind of okay. That's cool.
So it's like we see each other at places. We kind of give the head nod.
Gotcha.
You know,
Yeah.
I chat with the Italian people. He chats with the Chinese people.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotcha. So you operate outside of your own communities with each other because you have similar roles.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So next up, good job. Next up is the community. So this is the larger community surrounding Albert. Who cares about his disappearance? Right? Who doesn't care about his disappearance? Are there posters everywhere? Candlelight vigils? Has the media gotten involved? Is Albert's face plastered on screens all over the city? Or not? You know, if Albert Quay's family does have family, so what are they doing about it? What are they telling people about it? As a family and a community that says, "Oh well, no one's surprised he's gone," is a different tone than basically that everybody's searching vigilantly for him. Right? A close knit community can be a community that knows each other's secrets and keeps them, or one that spreads them around. I'm thinking of the Boondock Saints, that movie where the Irish community would not report a crime to the police if their life depended on it. Even if it affected another Irish. But anyway, a disenfranchised community that minds its own business won't be there when someone calls out for help. A character shouts, "Help, fire," who's going to respond? So that's kind of the idea. These little write-ups kind of give you the idea of what we're going for here. But what you have to do is this. This really happens sporadically as throughout the course of the rest of this chronicle mapping. So this is not a step that ends, but one that's ongoing as we continue to think of things. But what we do is we draw spokes out from the missing person's name, or missing person there, Albert, and draw little kind of thought bubble clouds. We're just going to type things in black. I'll type them if you say them, okay? But it's basically nobody gets attributed to these statements. But there are rumors surrounding both the person and the disappearance. These thought bubbles reflect popular opinion and local myth around the event. They should be specific, but don't need to be anchored to specific other characters, just to Albert. They could be something like, everybody knows he was kind of a drunk. Family could give two shits about him. That sort of thing. Don't quite worry at this point about what police or other real authorities are doing about the situation. This is mostly just the community at large. And in this situation, you're just putting down things that everybody knows that, right? Like, that's kind of the idea, right? This is, everybody knows that Albert's a blah, or everybody knows that people disappear from that alley all the time, or something like that. We don't have to declare who everyone is. That's all right.
So you want us to tell you this when you write down?
Yeah, I'll jot it down. And
Okay. So these could be myths or rumors, you said, right?
These are, myths or rumors. Myth in the sense not like a mythic tale, but rather everybody in his community would know something about the family or something like that, right?
Well, so I could say, like, he was involved in some shady dealings. Would that be something you want me to say?
But make it more rumor-like, he's always involved.
So can you say, like, everybody knows that he has a different girl on his arm or something?
Yeah.
Maybe some involvement by triads or something.
I'm going to go with makes bad business deals. How's that?
Okay. Just hold on. Let's do... We got... it wouldn't be the triads. What are they called? The tongs.
Tongs.
Tongs, there you go. Thank you.
hatchet men.
All right. How about something from Teku?
See, I was going to lean on gambling, and that kind of factors into the tongs.
It does, very much so. What sort of gambling stuff are you thinking of?
Oh, just that he really enjoys card games.
And you said something about bad business decisions there, DT?
I think I said like makes bad business deals, but I thought something else. I was gonna say he carries a 9mm at all times.
What about going with, the fact that he's always volunteering? He's a great role model for kids. Kids see him as a great role model.
Yeah,
Obviously they don't see
hates that rumor.
they don't see all this stuff that's going on, right? That being, the kids don't see all this stuff that's going on.
Right. Like, people do see him volunteering at the community center and stuff, right?
So these are basically just rumors that we're talking about, right?
Yeah, this is what the community's saying.
Okay.
Now
Yeah,
that he's disappeared, things that people are talking
He
about.
liked being the center of attention.
He takes good care of his parents.
I'm just going to extend that to the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He once splashed hot oil on a restaurant owner when he was insulted.
Okay.
Maybe he was often seen coming out of like a dark, like a nondescript building at all hours of the night.
Well, that's my building. Have you read mine yet?
No, I didn't actually. Didn't take a look at it.
Crying out loud.
I've been focused on mine.
I've been focusing on yours.
Have you? Oh, you're a better
Yeah.
person than me.
I know that.
Oh, there you go. I'll give you a compliment. You're welcome.
Still hanging out tomorrow, right?
I'm trying to look at it.
You'll still love me in the morning. You'll still respect me in the morning.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's convenient.
Jesus. Okay. Thanks for finally reading mine. Oh, your name's Elliot Payne? Oh my gosh.
Oh, I just noted that too. Oh, cool.
I thought you were an NPC.
No word of a lie, I kind of did actually.
Doesn't even surprise me.
It's better because it hurts more.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's good. We don't have to. We carry on, right? This. If you think of another thing somebody would say, then we'll put it in. Here's the next one.
He beat a mime to death.
Oh, come on.
This isn't the French Quarter.
Brutal.
There we go.
Brutal.
Authority.
Oh, don't pretend.
All right. So do the police care? What kind of
Oh, yeah.
questions do they ask you about Albert? Right? Did they come knocking on your door now that he's gone? What don't they bother asking people? Who has the real power and influence here when it comes to looking into the disappearance? If the police aren't involved, how come? Is the case federal for some reason? Have the feds chased the local cops away, etc., etc.? Maybe it's a matter of local authority, like community groups or organized crime keeping things hushed up. Who knows? But here's where we consider these things in this step. And we talk about the involvement of authorities. As a group, we decide who the major authority is in this situation, the major authority involved in this situation. You could put down 2 if you like, but no more than that. So that's the first step. Then I'll talk about the next thing.
So we have to do this as a group?
Yeah, as a group, let's discuss and decide on one or two at the most authorities that are involved. And they don't have to be official authorities like the police or the FBI. They can be local authorities like community centers or the mob or something like that.
Okay. So I was actually thinking that the real push for obviously the police are going to be involved, but the real push to investigate is the matriarch, like the 100-plus-year-old grandmother.
Okay,
Yeah, I like that too. I was going that way
is
too.
The authority.
Yeah.
I was going that way too.
Yeah. Especially her. Like she is like powerful still. Like very
there's
well
no
respected.
reason that the cops wouldn't be involved. I mean, he's a prominent figure in the community, but that's not the strong arm force behind this investigation.
No. So there's a lot of within the community itself, like they're like almost like self-policing in some ways.
Yep. But can we say the feds? There's got to be like someone in Chicago.
Yeah.
I think the feds would probably be interested too. Maybe it's like trafficking people or something.
Well, the Chinatown Bazaar does run an import business.
Right. Imports and exports.
That's right. Importer, exporter. Art
Exactly.
Vandelay is, one of their chief
of
clients.
people.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Maybe the feds are interested in
now, here's some history. Here's some history. So, the Pui Talk Center is the Onlong Tong building, and it was, it was hit by the FBI and shut down for a gambling racket back in the 90s, I think. And the Kuei family had many a dealing with that Tong before they were shut down. So it's not unusual to say something like that. But the feds, I guess, would have an eye on Chinatown for that reason, right? And they are part of a more traditional Tong in the sense of a business association, which is that Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association. So, have we decided on one or two authorities?
Well, grandmother, big
that's
one.
one.
So the family. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to write down the family.
And I think we do have to go like police, like local, like the Chicago Police Department.
So I figured we go feds.
I would go feds. I would wonder if feds. I would wonder if maybe feds would be involved or some federal group, because maybe they don't want another, like the Italian mob or
like a DEA or something.
Some sort of some sort of mafia. But I was thinking they don't want another mafia group to kind of get targeted for it, and then it creates like a war within Chicago between, the Chinese mafia or the whatever, and say the Italian mafia or something like that.
So if it's organized crime, then that's a federal, right? The feds have an organized crime unit.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to do the feds?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna do this just because I'm gonna say law enforcement. How's that? Just because I can't see it just being an FBI agent, right? Especially if he's this prominent in the community. I think Teiku's right. It probably is going to be police involved too, right? So certainly it's not the feds that are going around knocking door to door and canvassing the neighborhoods, right? They're going to get the beat cops doing that. So, all right, cool. Let me just do this. So I've put them here. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. Maybe bigger than that. There we go. And this one over here also. There. All right. So here's the deal. Those are the two authorities. And next, each player draws a line in your color. Okay, so we know that it's yours. From that authority or authorities to various people or locations on the map. So notice all the locations on the map and all the people that are on the map. So you pick a location or a person, draw a line from an authority, each authority, right? Each authority gets one line from you, okay, to a person or a place that's already on this map, okay? And on those lines, we're going to write out dates and facts depicting the authorities' actions without saying much about their motivations for those actions. So those details should be grounded in a setting as reality. So for example, let's say you drew a line from law enforcement to the alley behind the restaurant, right? And you might type something like, armed police investigators were seen investigating the alley behind the restaurant a week after Albert's disappearance, right? Something like that. Doesn't say what they were looking for, doesn't say what they found, doesn't even say why they were necessarily there, that they were actually investigating Albert, just that they were investigating, right? So they were doing something. You could draw something from the Quay family to the person of interest, Albert, and say no one from the police has even asked the missing person's family any questions. And that's almost hitting two birds with one stone, right? You could draw it from to one of your characters or somebody else's character. Doesn't have to be your character. And then put something on it about, so law enforcement could have gone to Vinny and grilled him, right? We know you're all, all in cahoots with these Chinese mafia, right? Blah, blah, blah. Or another location or something like that. So that's kind of how we do it. I would recommend kind of using the freehand drawing and your color so that you can kind of jump over lines and stuff like that. But don't be silly about it and draw squigglies all over the place. Try to take the most direct path without interfering with the stuff that's already.
I hate how you ruined my plan before I even got it off the ground.
I can see into your soul. I can tell exactly what you were going to do. That's why I said that.
There were going to be loop-de-loops.
I know. Give you any freedom whatsoever.
Can you guys hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, shoot. Okay, I can hear you, though.
Which part?
How do you erase it?
So I don't think I heard what you wanted to say. I didn't hear very much of what you said at all.
One sec. Let me answer.
Refresh.
Let me answer Golgi here. If you want to delete those lines, just choose the arrow on the top right or top left, and then select just click on the line and hit delete or backspace.
It's not doing it.
Gone.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Gone. You have to actually click on the line itself.
Yeah, I was trying to click on it. I wasn't able to.
You can. Yeah, sometimes you have to zoom in. All right. So DT, what's the last thing you heard?
I don't remember. Actually, the last thing I heard. What did you want us to do?
Did you hear anything about the? So you're going to draw a line.
Okay.
From each authority. To a person or place on the map here. Does not have to be your place or your character. Does not have to be the character that's disappeared. But on that line, you're going to give some data, a time, and info about that depict what the authority was doing, without saying much about their motivations for what they were doing, right? So I think Golgi can exemplify here about the Quay family and the Oriental Institute.
So, because there might be a long-standing relationship with them, and maybe they were kind of discuss, or the family themselves spoke to the director of it to determine because he was one of the last places he was seen was at the Oriental Institute, perhaps like not the last place, but maybe there's a connection to it.
Okay, so the family has. So you would say something like somebody from the family has been. Were they maybe yelling at somebody? Right, like say what they were doing and when they were doing it. Right, dates.
Okay, when you say
that,
what do you mean by dates and stuff? Because that's
relative to the disappearance. So
okay.
2 weeks before the disappearance. Excuse me.
Okay.
2 weeks before the disappearance, or the night before or the night after the disappearance, something like that, right? Like just kind of relative to when Albert disappeared.
Okay.
But just what were they doing? Again, not their motivations, not why they were doing it, but just Albert's father was seen seen yelling at the curator of the Oriental Institute or whatever it is. Whatever your thing is, doesn't matter.
So sorry, when we draw a line connecting the authorities to something else,
Yep.
do you want us to put a little statement there as
That's
to
right.
kind of what that
kind
connection is?
Kind of like you did on the spoke that came out from the location to your character, something similar to that. And we can move some stuff around if we need to make room.
So from law enforcement to Vinny, I would say that just kind of like doing some reconnaissance and taking snapshots of like his comings and goings.
Yeah, you could say like what? So was it uniformed officers were taking pictures of Vinny?
Nope.
Or
Nope,
was it
not uniform.
or was it a guy in a suit in a car taking a picture?
Guy suit in the car.
Yeah.
Guy suit in the car.
So like an agent.
Can you write that down for me?
So let me draw a line for you.
I did. Law enforcement of Vinny Vincenzo Rossi. It's red.
I do not see this line. Oh, there we go. Now I see the line. Cool.
What's the victim's name again? Well, I can't remember his name.
Albert Quay. It's right underneath his picture.
Albert, yep.
All right. So you want to say, when was the agent seen taking pictures of Vinny?
Midday kind of thing.
But relative to the disappearance of Albert.
Had to be in Chinatown. Seeing what he was doing in Chinatown.
No, but time relative to the disappearance.
Like days or something? Is that you're
3 weeks
to?
before Albert disappeared, an agent.
2 weeks before it.
Or was
Go
it 2 weeks
weeks.
after? Is it after or
2 weeks
before?
Before.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
What was he taking pictures of Vinny doing?
Vinny was came in and out of a building, nondescript, obviously. Shook a couple of hands.
With
Looked
who?
very
Like in Chinatown or?
yeah, in Chinatown.
Okay.
Some person. All you see is an arm come out. You don't really see the face of the person that he's shaking hands with.
Cool. So you're the nosy reporter there, Chris. Sloan.
Yep, pretty much.
So we're the so let's this one with the fundraiser at the Field Museum. So let's anchor it to time and what the police were doing. Okay, so police would benefit from fundraisers. Often spoke with Albert. So not often, but police spoke. Uniformed police.
I'd say, yeah, they have uniformed police. Again, just because, they're kind of benefactors of it for some, community initiatives that they would do.
Spoke.
So they would
spoke
kind of
with
be
Albert.
there as a,
Okay. How long ago?
we can say like a week, a month before.
Okay.
But it's not like these conversations would be secret, right? Like I'm thinking everybody's there kind of milling about. So they kind of go to Albert as a leader of the Chinese community.
At the last fundraiser? How's that?
Yeah, sure.
Do you mind adding to mine there, Magnum? I mean a line to Kue family to Grayson Bridger.
Oh.
I don't know. What do you want to?
This is becoming a colorful mess.
Yes.
I would like to say that they are have offered to finance some research for Grayson in the history department.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay. How long ago? When?
At the dinner party a week ago.
Okay.
At a dinner party a
Relative
week ago,
to
sorry.
Albert, so a week before Albert's.
Oh yeah, sure. Or a week? No, let's go afterwards. Let's do
Okay.
after he's gone missing. Maybe a little more mysterious. Why?
Because when you go after, that tells us how long he's been gone, too, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So instead of going to the police, they go to Grayson to find some stuff. Maybe, who knows?
I'm gonna say it's Albert's father.
Sure.
Okay. What did he do?
Offered like a grant, or sort of offered to pay for his research, some recent research that Grayson is doing in the history department.
That makes sense. Yeah. So I think my character specializes like in Sumerian and Assyrian, but for the purpose of this, the research is focused on Shang Dynasty.
Sure.
Oh, I'm just gonna put something.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm building it up in brain. Yeah.
For him personally. Okay, we only need, again, you should only have 2 lines on here. One for each thing. Right? One line from law enforcement and one line from Quay family.
Yeah, wasn't that the instruction?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll get rid of mine.
I was like,
See, I went
That's
law
what I did.
enforcement. I went law enforcement to Quay family.
So yeah, I think I added an extra one. Then I added 2 for law enforcement with Christopher's being the nosy reporter.
Okay.
Even
Well,
though
you've already got. What's the other? Yeah. So let's get rid of the nosy reporter then, and then because we just know that he's a nosy reporter.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'll get rid of that one that he went to police. I'll say
throw that nosy reporter in under mine then.
Well, that's what I did from Christopher to the Quay
Just
family.
Make it blue and that'll work.
No, he's got that's okay. He's got his That's his second one. He's got it.
Okay.
The other one that I was going to add was from Vinny to the Quay family that maybe 6 months ago he lost out on a contract to do garbage collection through areas of Chinatown.
We got to make it personal. So something that they acted somehow. So Quay family did something 6 months ago.
The Quay family kind of influenced everybody else to not sign a contract with my company. So I guess my 2 lines are used up.
Well,
So I
yeah,
was gonna
it's okay. You got 2 lines used up now. That's all right. We
Does
just
that
need
blue
one more.
line work for our function here?
No, it has to be from law enforcement to one of the other people or places. So not another authority.
Okay. Well, in that case,
Now you know what works though is if you just take this blue line and we do this, right? And that statement, federal agents were seen leaving the Quay home prior to Albert's disappearance, right? That has to do with Albert, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll move it over there.
Yeah.
So Albert's home. Let's put it that way. There we go. What's this one say?
Yep. Now, I kind of like your idea for a business rivalry in the past between Vincenzo and the Coy family, so I might use that one.
I don't know if it's a business rivalry, but the Quay family did something where I got screwed out of a lot of business.
Yeah, there'd be a professional interaction.
Okay. So again, the authority for this one with Quay family and the Oriental Institute, that's not about Albert. If you want it to be about Albert, you draw, that would be on a connection between Albert and the Oriental Institute. So this has to be about like Albert's father or somebody in a family authority. This green one over here. Hello, Gogi.
Oh, sorry. What was that? Sorry,
This
I didn't
green
catch
one
that.
over here. It
Yeah.
can't be Albert. It has to be somebody from Albert's family.
Oh,
So
okay.
it could be like Albert's father. It could
yeah.
be.
Yeah, can you change that to Albert's father then? I
Yeah.
can't get into it.
All right, with the museum director coming out of it, his father. All right. All right, and so now, sorry, I'm lost here. We don't have the Quay family hiring. Oh, we do. There it is. A week after Albert's disappearance. Okay, cool. I'm going to change Shang Dynasty Bronze Vessel to something I already know he's going to be interested in, which is a
Hello?
hello.
Yeah, I keep losing sound too once in a while, so
yeah.
sometimes I don't hear conversations at all.
Oh, weird. Very weird. Test.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, you just dropped off when you said something is missing, and then stone silent.
Really? I wonder if
Mhm.
That's weird.
has that been for everybody or just those two?
Mine was just kind of popping out where it was, you'd be saying something and it would kind of be like a staccato where I wouldn't hear stuff, but that was about it.
Mhm.
Well, I
that-
lost you talking earlier, remember? Like,
Well, I
for
know,
like-
yeah. I didn't know if that was a me thing though or a you thing.
I refreshed and I heard you afterwards, but I
Okay.
thought there was just dead silence for a little bit.
I've had no issues today.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the first one I had, so.
going to make it a little bit more generic there. Okay. Cool. All right. We got the authorities done now. And the last one. People of interest. Who else knew Albert Quay? Who were his friends, acquaintances, and family? What about his enemies, those who meant to harm him? These witnesses, suspects, and community figures touched Albert's life, but also have connections to your characters. Are their bonds to Albert strong and their relationships to you weak? Or are the only real connections between your character are they the only real connections between your characters and Albert? How do they relate to the locations important to the Chronicle, to the figures of authority, and to the rumor mill as it grinds along? So, did you guys hear that?
Yes.
Yep, I did.
DT?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just writing.
Okay, cool. Just making sure people can hear what I'm saying. Okay, so, so in this step is one that can have been happening throughout the time. So think back to things that we've talked about and said, okay? Each player should volunteer at least one person of interest while creating this Chronicle starter. We're going to write that person of interest's name down on the map here somewhere. We're going to, make them a little bit bigger, kind of like the Quay family. It's going to be in your color, so it's something that you've contributed. And you have to consider this other character's relationship to the rest of the information on the map. Draw a line from the person of interest to any player character other than your own.
I got it. Hang on.
On that line, the player of the second character should write down a sentence describing their relationship to the person of interest. So, for example, Teku writes down Albert's fiance and is drawing a line, I'm assuming, to Grayson, but it's Golgi that writes on that line, right? That's how it works. It's the person.
Do we want to give her a name?
Sure, go for it.
Well, we'll crowdsource a name.
Hey, Vinny, I got one for you. If you want to write, if you want.
I think you just do the line and I fill it out, right?
But you gotta put the name down, right? Who this person is. Okay.
Without any like descriptors, or with descriptors.
Sorry.
So
like, just the name of the person, like for example, Albert's fiance Mandy,
right,
or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
They can be who they are. So again, on that line, the player of the second character, that is the person who is being attached, okay?
Oh, I see.
Is who gets to write on the line, okay? And it's just a one-sentence description of their relationship to that person. The player who volunteered the person of interest then also draws a line between the person of interest and Albert. Like Teku just did with Albert's fiance.
Got it.
Okay. So Teku's going to write on the connection between Albert and that person, the connection between Albert and that person of interest. So that's where the descriptor would go, is on that line. Right? So Albert's fiance goes up beside the line, and the name of Albert's fiance is what goes there. So that's kind of how it goes. But Grayson gets to write his connection to Albert's fiance.
Okay, so we said before that Albert has a girlfriend. So if I put, like he has his fiance and then he has his girlfriend. So if I put his girlfriend, connected it to Albert, connected the other side to Elliot, Dark Templar would write on kind of that piece, how he knows Albert's girlfriend.
Right, his fling on the side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you connected Albert's fling on the side to Elliot writes on that. but you then have to connect the fling to Albert and write something on that like Albert's fling. But you have to give her a name, right? That's what links to Elliot is the name.
Keiko, are you going to give a last name for the fiance or just a first name?
I was going to go for a last name eventually. Maybe.
How long has Albert been in Chicago?
He was born here.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. Doesn't mean he wasn't shipped off to China for a little while or something like that.
That's fine.
But
Just want to know how long he's actually been in America.
yeah, his family has been here for a very, very long time. Oh, he's engaged to a watercress.
Nah. I'm not sold on the last name, to be honest.
Is she Chinese?
That's a great question. Yeah, you know what? I think that fits.
So as a final step, the person the player who put the person of interest on the board draws a dotted line from the person of interest to either a location, a rumor, an authority, or even another person of interest, symbolizing another connection. But there's no need for a description. We just know that they're connected.
Someone just moved mine?
I have not touched anything.
Oh.
What did you write?
High school friend, bit of a loser, hangs out with Albert, likes the feeling of celebrity.
Right beside Freddie T?
That's right.
Seems like it's right there.
All right, so we need a dotted line between Samantha Wu and someone or something else.
Dotted line between her and either another person of interest, a location, a rumor, that's those things in quotes, or an authority.
I hate how far away I put
player character. Yeah.
I hate how far away I put her from everything else. That's so many dots.
So then I'm going to put a dotted line to one of the rumors. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And Elliot needs to fill in his relationship to Lika Chang.
Leica? I was thinking Leica.
So there's this other line that's kind of not necessarily dotted, but just a really ugly looking line that's green from Grayson to law enforcement. Does anyone want to fix that up?
Ugly looking.
I think he was trying to put it underneath stuff so it didn't intersect.
Just throw it through.
Oh, that's going way up there.
Yeah. We're going on tour.
You're going on tour?
Yep. Only
Samantha Wu.
Only the longest of
all
dotted
the
lines.
way up to the alley behind Good Fortune Restaurant in the evenings.
Well, I was
Jeez.
thinking just Good Fortune Restaurant, but now that you've pointed out that it's an alley,
It's the alley behind the Good Fortune Restaurant.
that's
not
good.
this-
No, that'll be fine.
That's the fiance. All right.
Good news. Figure that one out.
I was thinking that would be the side piece, but
Nope.
So I have to write in Leica Zhang to me, right?
That's
Is that what
right.
you said?
How is it that Elliot is somehow related to her?
I was thinking maybe Elliot saw Albert and her in the alley at some point. But
That's all up to
I guess-
all up
to
I guess
me.
Albert just
all up to me.
takes everybody to the alley.
So just to be sure that I'm not slacking over here. There's nothing attached to me yet, right? That I'm supposed to be addressing?
I don't
Not
know.
yet.
Has anybody drawn anything? No.
This is not an invitation. I don't need extra homework here. You can just keep going around me. That's fine.
I think I got mine.
And Vinny needs to have a description of his connection to Albert's loser friend.
Freddie T.
I can't change the color of this.
Which one?
Of was getting mugged and bailed her out. I want to change it to red so you know it's me, but I can't change the color. There it goes. Yeah, I changed that high school one. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I couldn't change any of that to red.
Oh, so he was working for you.
Yeah, but I wanted to put in that, like, I can't move it just to that space in between. There we go. I wanted to kind of get across that I didn't fire him because I was hoping that Freddie would help me with the deal because Freddie's a loser. Fired because I just didn't need that many employees then.
Oh, please fire him because he's a loser. Come on, he might have messed up. He's a loser. That's the whole point. He is the loser friend.
Right, but it's not that I was thinking.
No, I get you. I get
Freddie T. It's not that I'm thinking Freddie T would help me with the deal,
right.
And it's not like I fired him out of venge. It's I fired him because I had too many employees and he was a loser, so I didn't want him on staff.
I get you. Freddie T, I get you. It's a good name.
Didn't want to pay a loser.
All right.
This is complicated.
And who is Robert connected to there, Golgi?
Robert is connected.
Where's Robert? Where's Robert?
Okay, so Robert. Oh, sorry, I forgot to. Where did I not do that? Wait, maybe I
someone
forgot to
highlight where Robert is.
Right over here, but it's on the left-hand side. So I think I forgot to do him.
Oh, Robert Smith, museum director.
Yeah, sorry.
He's always packing heat.
Yeah.
So they're shooting buddies.
Is he connected to Christopher? I see a green line going from Christopher to Albert, but
yes, yeah, that's right.
So we gotta put
he's all the way down there. Oh my gosh, I was like trying to figure out where this Robert real bottom left.
Sorry, so you do have to do it. I'm just going to actually freehand this.
Where does Robert Smythe connect to?
Yeah, I'm trying to connect them.
He's always
I'm drawing the line right now. Just hold on.
Okay.
Can we move Robert Smythe to the bottom right, and he's always packing heat to the bottom right? That might make it easier.
It's only this is mostly for me to make reference to as we go through. So this is the last thing. So basically, what is Christopher's relationship to the museum director? And there already is a museum director, I think, fleshed out. So I'll just change the name. But
okay,
for now, it's the museum director.
For the record, my character is not connected to the Coué family or law enforcement. I don't know if you guys noticed that. No one connected me. No one connected me to law enforcement or Coué family. Just throwing it out there. Someone dropped the ball.
I connected you to the side piece.
Yeah, I got that part, but no one connected me to the Coué family or law enforcement. So.
Well, given that you're generally off the radar, doesn't that sort of make sense?
No, not at all. Not for building the story. I got to be connected to one of these two things. That's what he said
you don't have to be connected. Everybody just, for the Quay family, everybody seemed to choose another player character, but
no one
Golgi chose to connect them to the Oriental Institute. For the law enforcement is connected to
Vinny.
To a location, and to Vinny, and to Grayson. But that's it. Oh, and to Albert. So it's just 4 connections. It's not that every person has to be connected to one of the authorities.
I'm not connected to anybody besides Leica Zhang.
I thought about connecting you to Vinny because you always sleep in the dumpsters that I have.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Did you set him on fire too?
Jesus.
No, that was Tyler Brock.
Yeah, so you don't.
Oh,
I guess you don't have. Well, you're connected to Leica directly. You're also
that's fine.
connected. You're also connected to Albert through that location.
No, that's
Right.
fine. Cool. I'll keep that.
Yeah.
That's good for me.
So
That's good for me.
they're indirect connections that you have.
Sounds good. I like it. Do that.
Yeah, we just have to. That's a good point that you bring up, though, pointing that out, because that is something that the rest of the players have to keep in mind as this chronicle evolves. Because again, there is the slight conceit that you will form a group at some point, right? But we try to. But you can see that one person now. If we take Albert away, right?
Then I'm banging like a zang.
Wow.
In the alley.
Oh, Jesus.
Of a restaurant.
Well,
Oh, it really is good fortune. Sorry.
oh my God.
Okay,
In your house, which is actually my.
there we
My house
go.
is actually your dumpster, you said?
Yep.
You don't own all the dumpsters.
Okay,
No, just the red ones.
there you go. The ones that are on fire. Those are the ones.
Yeah, that's what I said too.
All right. So yeah, but you take Albert away, and now all of a sudden you can see how that vacuum will create movement in this map, right? It's going to create tugs that will eventually draw your characters in. The most, I guess, the thing that for sure you're going to notice the tug is Leica, right? There, Elliot. That's your major connection through there. But
And maybe Leica and Freddy knew each other.
maybe. Anyway, but that's let's see. Hello.
Are you going to put him back into the center?
I'm
Or
going
no?
to try and shrink this down a bit
Yeah,
because
I'm
we're
trying here.
running low on room. No, I'm trying to.
All right, cool. So, what do you got there for that link back to found him unnerving? Okay, cool. All right. Sounds good. So, there we are. Cool. So, this kind of builds the seed for the Chronicle. And you can see there's already certain things that are going to be put in play, right? What? Oh, I can't. I see. Okay, now I can select things. There we go. Okay, cool. So, that's good. I refer back to this, and we'll come back to it as things evolve. And here we are. So, yeah, in the next 10 minutes or so, we can flesh out a few more things about your characters, and then we'll wrap it up, and we can move into the first chapter. So, for page 3, you should see what we've got there. Think about, so Vinny's pretty much done. Christopher, what kind of stuff do you need? Things that you own, vehicles, gear that you typically carry around with you. Where do you live?
I figure some kind of an apartment. Nothing particularly high end. Probably off campus, but not too terribly far away.
Okay.
As far as gear,
Yep. Just go into
Yeah.
page 3. Just in those spaces, just type in the sort of stuff that you would have, and I can flesh out equipment and stuff. So you probably have a computer, I'd imagine, right? Things like that. You probably have a cell phone. That's what you carry with you, but and same sort of thing for Elliot. You might not have much, but on page 3 is where you're going to put what you do have.
And what do I have on page 3?
I don't know. Gear is stuff you carry with you. Equipment is things that you own that you don't carry around with you. But that's probably going to be a very small list. You probably don't have a vehicle. Residents, you just residents describe where you typically go. Do you go to shelters? Do you have a spot that you typically go to? That sort of thing. Grayson's pretty well fleshed out as well.
I changed my multilingual. I changed it from Spanish and German to Spanish and Arabic.
Okay. You don't want to change that to Chinese, possibly? No?
Well, maybe I should actually.
I was
going to say my character itself, I thought would be more into like the Assyrian stuff and Middle Eastern stuff.
And that's cool because it makes it weird that these Chinese guys now want you to do something for them, right? So that's cool. The other thing that you guys need to provide it'll also be on page 3, are called touchstones, and they play a particular I thought we did touchstones already.
We did.
No, well, some of us did, I think.
We did.
But they're missing now.
Oh, really? I got mine in.
Again. No, it's right there. No?
What do you see?
Should we write it on the first one?
I'm reading mine.
Where do you see yours?
I see mine on page 3.
Yeah,
touchstones.
No, I see yours, but I don't see Elliot's.
Oh, I wrote it.
I remember. It was something about your... Is it under bio info?
You had it in the...
bio and info?
That's where it went.
I don't see it under bio and info, though. Because you had a picture and stuff, didn't you? Or did you just post it? I think you posted it in Discord.
Oh, I did post it, so...
Yeah, it just needs to go into the touchstones box there.
Okay,
Sweet
well,
plug for the Discord,
I'll
by
find
the
that
way.
later.
And Vinny needs a touchstone as well, I think.
Yeah, so do I. So sorry, walk me through this touchstone concept again.
Yeah, so they are the things that kind of anchor you to your identity a little bit there, right? Just important people or important places to you. So I think Elliot's, one of his was the house that he grew up in or something like that, or that he left, right, when he went out onto the streets. What's yours, Grayson?
The Oriental Institute, actually. So my backstory is he visited weekly with his father. My dad wasn't really well educated. He was a blue-collar worker, but he loved reading about history, so he loved the museum. I going there kind of shared my father's kind of passion for history and felt closer to him because of it.
Okay, cool. So that building is of significance to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's a significant thing to Christopher? What's a significant thing to Vinny? And it just has to be one thing. Having a bunch of ideas is good, but you just pick one. And so you will now your touchstone as a mortal character in Chronicles of Darkness, we can revise that touchstone forever. But if all of a sudden something were to befall you, like I don't know, you turned into some terrible supernatural creature or something, that touchstone is what helps you cling to your former life, whatever, So if that's gone, it's harder to do so. Even if you become a particularly, you decide to, become the hunter of the hunters, right? A monster hunter rather than just an investigator, your touchstones are kind of what anchor you to not losing yourself to that. Not just becoming just waiting for the next monster sort of thing.
Sorry, I had to step away for a second.
That's all right.
Can you repeat kind of some of that stuff for touchstones?
So it's what anchors you. Did you miss the examples or?
I think I missed the examples.
Okay, so Elliot's example would be the house that he grew up in, perhaps, or the place his mom worked. I think he gave a bunch of examples in Discord. He's got to pick one to put there. Grayson's is the Oriental Institute where he would visit with his father. And Vincenzo has to pick a touchstone too. It's something that anchors you when you're if you become a supernatural of some sort. It's part of what helps you hold on to what you were before, right? So
I just pick one touchstone.
Just one for now. It's good that you have a lot of ideas for touchstones. It's important because you're a human being and human beings have several. It only becomes mechanically significant if you or you don't have to become a supernatural, but you could begin to become a hunter of the supernatural, and it's what helps anchor you to a normal life. If you watched The Walking Dead or read The Walking Dead, it's kind of that whole idea that they try to have some degree of normalcy in their lives to remind them of what the world was like before. That's kind of what their touchstones were.
Right. I can't find my touchstone that I put out here. I don't know where it went.
I don't know. You can put pictures and stuff. So
I know.
Give me a second. I'll take a look.
I'm like scrolling through right now. Oh, I got it. I see it now. I see it. Okay.
And this is a really well-veiled plug for the Discord. I like that.
Veiled, you say?
Yeah. Oh, I totally wrote this down. Oh, right. It's on the Discord.
way back.
Yeah, I got it. Don't worry.
Yeah, before Golgi's.
I got it. I got it.
Golgi's skull helmet.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I really do want that skull helmet.
I know. Of course you do. Of course you do.
All right, I'm good.
Who wouldn't want it?
Communists.
I don't know. Some
that's
communists may want a skull helmet.
That's my answer to everything, honestly. Because apparently it's the insult that you're supposed to give. I don't know.
Wow.
That's it. Eh?
Yeah, apparently, because everything bad is communist, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Fascinating.
About the same level of understanding, too.
All right. So, there we are. So just jot down any gear you would have, again, and the thing like gear is the stuff you carry. Equipment is things that you would own that you don't carry. One thing, there's actually a piece of equipment for Elliot's character that you might want, which is called a cache, which is not an actual, like it's a hollowed out something or other, or you dug a hole and put a rock over it or something like that. That you can, that you can actually put things up to its value in. So you could probably start with a 1-dot cache, right? You could stuff a water.
Oh, on my merit, you mean?
No. It's like a piece of equipment. Like you bothered to fashion for yourself a place that you could tuck stuff, right?
Okay, look at my thing here. Maybe I put it in the wrong spot then.
It's under equipment owned.
Yeah. So you want to put cash under equipment owned, and then all the stuff I put in equipment owned, you want to put it over to gear carried?
If you carry it around with you, then it's gear. If you leave it behind and it's not something that you would have on your person, then it goes under equipment. Okay. So you're probably carrying all that stuff with you.
Probably carrying most of that stuff with me.
So I'll move it over to gear carried for you.
All right.
There we go. And a cache is not a bad thing to have, and it would be a 1-dot cache. So
cool.
Let's put it in right now. So you can basically fit anything that has a equipment value of 1 dot in it. And
cool.
It's considered to be hidden to a certain degree.
Right. But I carry most of my stuff on my back.
Right, but if you found something valuable, rather than having a fashion one, you've already got one built.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
So I added to my equipment something, if you want to take a look at it.
Sure.
just for the
You
kind
might
of
need to click out
ambience.
of it. I'm just seeing.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry.
There
There
we
we
go.
go. All right, there you go.
Okay, that's cool. Are those in your residence?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to move them to your residence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because they're kind of flavor, right?
Right.
Decorated with, but you still do have them, but they're
Yeah.
with a few pieces there. You should see it there now.
Where's my residence?
Just below equipment. It's the box below.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say like Oriental rugs and kind of things like that. So basically, I'm a obvious, history professor of ancient history.
Yeah, you live the part.
I live the life. Yeah, I look the
Yeah.
part.
For vehicles, if you guys have a vehicle, just name the kind of vehicle that you want. Don't forget.
Toyota Prius.
Don't forget, it is 2005. So
Oh,
if
not
the
Toyota
vehicle doesn't
Prius.
exist in 2005, then I will put in the nearest substitute. That's all.
Okay, I don't know what vehicle was. I don't think they had a
We'd
Toyota
have to
Prius. Yeah.
Do we need to include why our touchstones are as such?
Yeah, it would be important to know why. Our Lady of Pompeii. Is that a real church in Chicago?
It is a real church in Chicago. It's just on the west side of Little Italy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Our Lady of Pompeii.
It was-
Patroness of the incinerated, I guess, right?
Okay, Toyota Camry.
Dumpster
There you go.
fires.
So that's like where you were baptized and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, where I was baptized, where my grandmother had her funeral and my dad had his funeral.
Okay. Cool. So just so you know, I put you on the south side in Bridgeport, which has a small Italian community, but it's again more low profile because it kind of
Yeah,
fits your.
but that's
But your family can be
But-
obviously originally from, you don't have to live in the same 600 feet as you were born. That's fine.
yeah. Well, and Bridgeport is just straight up Halsted Street, right? Like St. Barbara
it's due
Catholic
south.
Church
It's
is
due
there,
south of Little Italy. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm right by what would have been U.S. Cellular Field.
It was in 2005. I think it was U.S. Cellular Field is what it was called in 2005.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that is session 0. Any last questions, thoughts, ideas?
I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Cool.
Yeah.
And other things will arise as we go through them. There's different investigation systems and social systems and things like that. Which is why you don't have to come up with all sorts of clues and stuff like that about disappearances and stuff. It's kind of cool. We'll also talk about how to do the combat system with the way guns work and stuff like that when we need to use them. So we won't do all that before. But that is it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in again to Session 0. This was part 2, where we built the Chronicle and just kind of tweaked our characters at the very end. This will post, or should have posted, with Chapter 1. So now that you know how everything was built, you can jump on over to Chapter 1 and watch or listen to that episode. Tell us what you think. If you like this sort of stuff, hit like. Comments in the comment area below. Hit the bell if you want to be reminded about when we post our actual play podcasts, I guess is kind of what they are. And you can follow us on Discord, follow us on Twitter, and all those links are going to be down below. If you want to see how this game is played, I'm going to do some additional recordings of a sort of GM reflection on the episode and talk about kind of some of the difficult portions or places where I thought were really cool. Just kind of my own personal GM's commentary as we go through. So I think that'll kind of give you a sort of behind the screen look at just how I'm putting this all together as we go along and the things that I'm thinking about. But I'm not going to put that up until after the episode posts. That way we don't ruin things for people who might be playing. But check that out too. And pick up the book if you're interested. Support the hobby. It's a really cool game. I really like it, especially the second edition. And we're going to get into things next time. So until then, we'll talk to you later.
Have a good night.
Good night, folks.
See you next time.
Good night, everybody.